Right, the first All Blacks test of the European tour proper, not counting Japan because Japan's not in Europe, is this Sunday at 3:30 a.m. New Zealand time. Good luck waking up for that. And we've naturally got the team, which also got named at the really more UK centric time of 12:30 midnight on Friday. And yes, so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the All Blacks 15 that's going to play Munster. That game's at 6:30 a.m. Sunday. Because those two kind of sort of the two sides kind of interact. In fact, really the All Blacks 15 is sort of like the expanded All Blacks, the unofficial on All Blacks extended side. So we're particularly with a couple of players who are set to come over from the All Blacks 15 to the All Blacks with their injuries. So yeah, but let's start off with the All Blacks 23 to take on England. All right, so yeah, as you can see, we've got Mighty Williams and Wallace Satiti backing up. From they played against Japan. Now the word is Ethan de Groot was not considered due to not meeting internal standards, and I quote that from the All Blacks social channel. So make of that what you will. So I'm not going to speculate here. But anyway, Williams will play back-to-back tests. Look, I know playing Japan, England, the time difference and all that, I think they'll be absolutely fine. Plus, I don't think, Mighty Williams is not expected to play 18 minutes. I expect, somewhat, he'll be, Ofatunga Fasi will come on. He's also another player anyway. Pasilio Tosien, the other prop on the bench, is another player to have backed up. In fact, quite a few players on the Impact will be backing up from him playing, having started or played against Japan. Anyway, to Mighty Williams at loose head prop. Cody Taylor returns to the lineup at hooker along with Tyrell Lomax at tight head prop. Scott Barrett returns as well. He takes over for he resumes his captaincy after, of course, flying straight to England rather than playing in Japan. Of course, taking over, he takes over the captaincy from Patrick Tuipulotu. Tupou, of course, now he's pretty much recognized as the as Scott Barrett's locking partner. Wallace Satiti, as I mentioned, will back up from his start against Japan. He's at blindside, so yeah, I think that's not really a surprise. I guess the word Ethan Blackadder is Ethan Blackadder is still questionable in terms of fitness. Luke Jacobson, of course, has been ruled out tour, although he was more of he was more going to cover number 7. 7, by the way, is that's going to be Sam Cane, and number 8, Ardie Savea. So pretty much the back row that we kind of all expected. Really, and look, certainly, I know people are questioning why Scott Robertson continues to give Sam Cane game time when he's about to retire. Well, and I know you want to black players, but you want to play your best team against particularly against your likes of England, Ireland, and France. I imagine Sam Cane wants to play those 3 sides, so he is ultimate, and he is ultimate. I think the physicality up front. I think you need a player like Sam Cane who's able to do the workloads. So he's in there. Ardie Savea, well, his name is pretty much what says it all. You got the back lines. Cortez Ratama, takes over from Cam Roigard to start. Cam Roigard's on the bench, which everyone pretty much predicted. So you've got no options for the likes of Perenara. Bolden Barrett is as expected at number 10. Look, as I said in previous videos, I think it feels like Scott Robertson feels like Barrett is the better orchestrator or conductor of the backline, particularly against a more defensive side like England where they're gonna be more defensive. Damien McKenzie is an option on the bench, so it wouldn't surprise me if we had a Bolden Barrett, Damien McKenzie double pivot system where you could very well see both of them taking turns to run the plays. But I think that perfect Barrett right now makes sense, as I've said. Caleb Clark takes over, returns to the side. He's at the number 11 left wing, blindside wing, as expected. Jordy Barrett has been named. There was a question mark about his fitness, but he has been named at 12 alongside Rico Ioane. Look, I know there was some speculation that perhaps Rico Ioane might be shifted to 14, particularly given how good Billy Proctor was against Japan. There's also Anton Leonard-Brown, but I think right now it feels like Barrett Ioane, I think, remains the midfield partnership of choice. Or prefer the number one midfield partnership. Mark Tellier has won back his spot in in what we probably deem the first choice team. He lines up at 14. Look, I think he had probably his best performance in black against Japan, so I think certainly deserves it, and he will back up. So, and then Will Jordan at fullback. So pretty much, look, it is pretty much the All Blacks starting team that we expected. I know, there's been a couple of variations to get Proctor, Leonard Brown in, but, and even D-Mac at fullback. But look, I think this is pretty much what everyone expected, really. And it's a good, every All Black team is a good, solid team, but I think this is probably the best team to take on England, with the players that we've got. Look, I know it's mentioned Ethan McGroot, obviously there are some issues that mean he's not available, but Tamati Williams has been excellent this year, so I think he'll do a good job. Let's talk about the impact. Look, Safo Mua, Ofa Tungafasi, Pasilio Tossi, Patrick Tuipulotu, semi-final final, Cam Roygard, and Damien McKenzie, those players were playing in Japan. So they will, I think there's a lot, yes, it is a big, it's a 12-hour flight, from Japan to England. There's the time difference and all that backing up, but these guys travel on first class. They've got nutritionists, sports scientists who are able to ensure that they don't the transition time is pretty much negligent. And plus, they're in the impact, so they're not playing a full. You think they would not be playing a full game, but these guys are so fit. I think they'll be absolutely fine. And so I think we'll watch this space. So certainly a very good team. So we move on to the All Blacks 15. This is to play Munster at Thomond Park again. Bringing back all the memories of the last time an All Blacks team. I say an All Blacks team played against Munster. I guess this isn't going to be considered a test. Well, it's never been considered a test. So this is the All Blacks 15. So let's go through it. George Bower is at he loose head. Brody McAllister at hooker. George Dyer at tight head. You got Isaiah Walker. Liaveri, so excuse the pronunciation, partnering Fabian Holland. Ollie Haig is at 6. Duplessis Kirifi, who's surely going to be the NPC player of the year when at the New Zealand Rugby Awards later this year. Duplessis Kirifi captains the side with Davon Flanders, his Hurricanes teammate, at 8. You've got another funny how the forwards, backlines, they start with, kind of capped All Blacks. I wouldn't call them ex-All Blacks yet, because, you'd think George Bower and Finlay Christie would hope to be in the All Blacks again. Finlay Christie at 9. He's going to, and partnering Harry Plummer, who will be pivot. I think this will be a key test for Harry Plummer to audition to show that he could be the third choice, not just, let me rephrase that. He could be one of the 3 number 10s. I don't think he wants to be third choice. I think he wants to be the first choice number 10. But certainly, this is a very important game for Harry Plummer to push his claims. You've got, particularly as you look at who's on the impact bench. We'll talk about that in a bit. Kini Naholo is at 11, so I'll be fascinated to see how it goes. In what is, it is a pseudo, it is almost like it feels like an All Blacks test, but isn't. Quinn Tupai, he's back in the national reckoning. So after an sort of injury ravaged last couple of seasons, really good to see him back, and hoping he can really get back into the All Blacks, the first team, because he is a really quality player. Partnering AJ Lamb who's, after he's been solid. The NPC Super Rugby finally, really gets, is this his chance to show he can be in the All Blacks. Shea Fihake, one of the emerging developing players in New Zealand rugby. I guess, look, I guess that's, you can sense the tone. I'm not sure we're seeing Fihaki at his best. He's the first, but he seems to be a player that the Crusaders and the national selectors are keeping an eye on. So there's probably another, sort of like an apprentice to. And Sean Stevenson at 15. Look, I guess, so a solid team, solid starting lineup. Again, I think I haven't seen the Munster lineup, although I suspect it, with these URC club side, they do tend to not put their first team out, particularly because obviously they might have internationals playing tests, for Ireland, for other countries, but there'll still be a solid, should be a still really solid team. I'm not expecting a thrashing. I think this will be pretty close. So a good game. Let's talk about impact. Bradley Talato the Taranaki. He's the substitute hooker. Saban Numia, who was in the All Blacks reckoning, but he's kind of sort of, I guess he still remains in there, given that he's in the All Blacks 15. Marcel Renata is the other hooker. Naito Akoi, one of my favorite NPC players. Corey Kello, I'm not really familiar with him too much, but so it'll be good to see a bit more of him. Noah Hotham, of course, he has been in the All Blacks, and I think they have rightly sent him to the All Blacks 15 to get game time. Josh Jacob and Ruben Love. So you've got effectively two pivots there pushing Harry Plummer. So that's why I'm saying, and going back to my form, what I said before, this is a very important game for Harry Plummer. This and arguably to push his claim that he is one of the top three number 10s for the All Blacks. So this is a get because you've got Josh Jacob, Ruben Love, two very talented players should be future All Blacks. I'm excited to see Jacob up. So I'm excited to see Love on the back of his scoring 2 tries against Japan. Many have said that Ruben Love is going to be a future number 10. So, we shall see. I suspect he has been chosen as a fullback for this game. And I think that's what his position is going to be for the All Blacks. If he was to have a prolonged period for for the All Blacks, that's going to be his position, which is not a bad thing at all, because you remember, of course, Dan Carter did play second 5'8". And for the All Blacks, he even played fullback for the Crusaders in Canterbury. So those positions will certainly, those are the sort of positions where you'd serve if you're going to be a future number 10. So both two very strong teams, and so look, Sunday morning is going to be there's going to be a lot of good rugby to watch. But look, I'd like to get your thoughts on both the All Blacks and the All Blacks 15. What are your thoughts on the teams? Any unlucky names there, or and how will we do against England? And of course, if you like this video, feel free to like, and don't forget to subscribe. Coming up, of course, we've got the State of the Nation address. That's about the New Zealand rugby, and and so do keep an eye on that. So and of course, again, if you like this video, feel free to like, and don't forget to subscribe.